ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to episode 96 of Off the Chest of Timothy Regal. I am your host, the sexiest man in professional wrestling from the neck up, Timothy Regal, joined by the 7-star mind and possibly a Keebler elf, based on the way he's dressed right now, Alex McCarthy.
I hate you.
You don't hate me. You love me.
That's not true.
I am amazing. I am wonderful.
Oh my god.
I am the light of your life.
Here we go.
Here we go. Where are we going?
Here we go with your usual shit.
My usual shit?
Yeah.
I want you to just tell me how great I am. I'm feeling really good today.
My mother told me not to lie.
The DDP...
How are you going to fucking come on here and insult me for the opening of the podcast because I'm actually enjoying the holiday season and I'm not a fucking curmudgeon troll grump like you, and then you're going to tell me to talk about how great you are?
I'm not a curmudgeon troll grump.
You absolutely are.
I don't like Christmas very much.
Well,
and as I have said, that is a product of my shoot job.
Oh, you're just making excuses.
Plus, I don't have kids. I don't have a wife. I just kind of.
I like Christmas.
I didn't
have a wife.
Christmas means for me, I have to work really hard.
Oh gosh, God forbid Regal have to work really hard.
I work really hard every day, man.
Then what difference is it at Christmas time if you work hard really every day?
Well, other people are pains in the ass at Christmas time.
Like you. Old curmudgeon troll grump.
Hey, Margaret.
What?
Why does your husband dislike me so much? Remember when he used to tell me how great I was all the time?
You have to know?
Pretty sure that wasn't a thing, Regal. I think you might have dreamed that.
I remember that. But anyway, Alex.
Well, and too bad all the old episodes are lost forever.
How are you? Well, they're still in somebody's archive.
I'm good. I put up the llama.
Put up the llama?
Did you see the llama?
There's a llama?
Yeah.
I did not see a llama. Where is there a llama?
Well, it doesn't come on until the night.
It's made out of lights. Okay.
No, it's not lights. I'll show you.
Oh. I see you got a nice, beautiful Christmas tree here at the McCarthy event.
Why don't you fucking bury the Christmas tree?
No, I'm actually saying it's very, very nice looking, very beautiful. You and Margaret did an excellent job on that. Okay, I see your llama.
The llama deflated.
The llama deflated.
No, because it's on the same timer as the lights.
Okay.
So it's not going to come on until the lights come on. You look like you want the car keys.
What? No, I want to look.
Oh.
I applaud the fact that you two are into the Christmassy thing, and I honestly wish I could be. I'm just not.
Hey, Margaret. We're keeping kayfabe on the one thing. Just so you know, the new thing.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Kayfabe on that.
The new thing.
Yeah.
Huh? Kizzy fizzy?
Yeah.
Okay. No, I mean, it's been a good week. Alex, I'm pleased to announce, once again, today, I managed to hit not one, not two, but 3 DDP yoga sessions in 24 hours.
That's better than you hitting not one, not two, but 3 people with your car.
Well,
should you do that?
Obviously.
Just checking.
Was that a joke about the fact that Regal sucks at driving again?
Yeah.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure.
What's going on with Jeff Hardy's hair here?
Dude, yeah, what year is this? This is TNA Sacrifice.
I think it's 2010.
Jeff Hardy versus Ken Anderson, and yeah, Jeff's hair looks like he's about to audition to be the 6 Backstreet Boys, is basically the way I'm going to say it.
Yeah.
What the hell do you think the Backstreet Boys were? That is not how the Backstreet Boys dressed.
Well, his hair. We're talking about his hair.
We're talking about his hair.
The color?
Well, not the color, but the cut.
Style, the cut of it. He's got this short haircut that
You're not talking about the fact that he's wrestling Dolph Lundgren?
That's Ken Anderson.
Yeah, okay.
He's from the greatest city in the world, Margaret. Did you know that?
New York.
No, Green Bay, Wisconsin.
Dubuque, Iowa.
Green Bay, Wisconsin.
Green Bay, Wisconsin is terrible.
Turned into a bigger
or as he says, Green Bay, Wisconsin. I've heard is it him and Sean Devari?
What?
Have a wrestling school in
Yeah.
in the Milwaukee area, I believe it is now.
No, it's in Minnesota.
Is it in Minnesota?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, heck of a school up there.
How do you don't even know where it is?
I don't know where it is, but if it's got Davari and Ken Anderson training at it, Davari and Ken Anderson, interesting note about them, they were wrestling each other on the first ever LaSalle wrestling show I ever went to.
Really? They booked Ken Anderson?
Ken Anderson versus the Sheik Sean Davari in the Flamingo Banquet Center in LaSalle, Illinois in January of 2003.
You know what I have to say about that?
At Revolution Championship Wrestling New Year's Evil. What do you have to say about that? You know why I brought that up?
Because you love Muhammad Hassan?
No.
That was one I did like that theme song though.
It actually was kind of a cool theme for that gimmick.
It's catchy as hell.
No, I'm bringing this up because we are, in full disclosure to our audience, we are recording.
I like when we lie to our audience.
I don't like when we lie to our audience. We are recording this show on Saturday before SCW Pro, but also before AAW Last Call in LaSalle, Illinois. And as it looks right now, potentially the final day of LaSalle professional wrestling.
How many year tradition, Regal?
Going back to 2002.
Wow, 16-year tradition.
16 years of pro wrestling history in LaSalle, whether it was Revolution Championship Wrestling, Dreamwave Wrestling, AAW, the Wicked Wrestling Alliance.
What?
We don't talk about the Wicked Wrestling Alliance. Let's just put it that way. They were actually the original company that ran the Knights of Columbus Hall. But right. I don't think anybody has. If anybody has a good memory, I don't know what it is.
Did they have any good names?
No.
Wow.
They had some guys you would probably know because they had a bunch of POW guys.
Oof. Say no more.
Yeah. They had Electric Eric Freedom.
Okay. He never came to Dubuque.
Yeah, I remember you telling me something about that. The Electric Eric Freedom only worked for them on in the Chicago area. He never came to Dubuque shows.
Yeah.
But no, the AAW presenting the what will be the final last LaSalle wrestling show, and I am very, very sad about this because my second ever indie show. And the first indie that I ever went to on a regular basis was in LaSalle, Illinois, the original J. Repsol promotion, Revolution Championship Wrestling, RCW. Of course, that is where I met the Ritter brothers and met Ryan Boz, who is
favorite wrestler,
one of my favorite wrestlers. A guy gonna be wrestling on the show tonight.
Yeah, he's gonna be wrestling Connor Braxton and Stephen Wolf.
Yeah, Connor Braxton and Stephen Wolf.
Gonna be teaming up with old Paco.
I really, not unfortunately, but conflicts. Only so many days, and we gotta.
Regal hates Paco. No,
I don't hate Paco. No, I'm just saying. I wish
we could be there.
I wish we could be in LaSalle tonight for the final show.
Yeah,
I am sure that AAW is going to have an absolutely killer show. I have no doubt that they might quite literally tear the building down. I mean, they almost did last month.
Yeah.
So they may literally just say, screw it, and tear the building down. But
in the fashion of another guy that burn it down.
He likes to burn it down. Well, and where did he? AAW. I mean,
right? Yeah. Did he ever wrestle in LaSalle?
I think he did at the end of the Revolution run.
Okay.
I want to say towards the last, some of those last Revolution shows before Jay took a little break and then came back as Dreamwave. I want to say he did. Because the thing is, I think right about the time that Dreamwave started was when Tyler may have gotten signed. So I don't know if Tyler worked if he worked any of the.
I thought he was on one of the first Dreamwave shows. I could be wrong.
He may have been actually.
Remember, I read through every Dreamwave card the one night.
Yeah, when we were just sitting around doing nothing.
No, we were in LaSalle before the last AEW
show. And yeah, I think now that you mentioned, I think he may have. I didn't go to Dreamwave until they were about 3 or 4. I think they were their 4th year.
Okay.
Because Dreamwave basically started right about the time I took my break from wrestling.
Gotcha.
So, I actually went to one show their first year. And I remember it had Juice Robinson, my good buddy Nick Brubaker, trying to think, Acid, Austin Roberts.
Oh, the Bald Dads.
I know how much you love Acid and Austin Roberts, Alex.
I love the Bald Dads.
Luther
Reigns?
Not Luther Reigns. Luther.
Martin Luther?
No.
I'm a descendant of Martin Luther. Did you know that?
Really? Didn't know that.
Yeah.
Luther was a guy who kind of was a mask guy that wore like the mask and the like.
He was a mask
coveralls.
guy who wore a mask.
He wore like the mask, the coveralls. He came up with like a chain.
I'll
pull the curtain back. I think about 4 or 5 different people portrayed Luther through the run of Revolution Championship, through the run of Dreamwave Wrestling.
Dang.
I actually know who the last Luther was.
Really?
Yeah.
Who?
The guy who shares my birthday.
Hartenbauer?
Yeah. We're killing kayfabe on the podcast today, Alex.
Yeah.
But no,
because
I'm sure AEW gonna have an amazing show. Kylie Ray gonna take on Savannah Stone tonight up in LaSalle. I wish I could. That should be a hell of a match. I know our good friend Quinn McKay is gonna be there.
Yeah, our friend.
Well, she's Margaret's friend.
She couldn't pick you out of a lineup.
She's Margaret's friend.
Oh, okay.
I think she.
I tried to talk to her at the last LaSalle show. She had no idea who I was, and everybody knows who I am.
I tried to talk to her.
And you froze up.
And then ran into a brick wall, if you will. Our wonderful Quinn McKay.
She's our property.
No, no one is property.
People aren't property, Regal.
Our wonderful friend Quinn McKay. How about that?
You have an issue with people being other people's property?
I do. It's wrong. You shouldn't do that.
Oh. Speaking of...
where the hell are you taking that one?
I was transition. Speaking of people who are bad people that Regal forgives them for, you want to talk about Dynamite Kid?
I do want to talk about Dynamite Kid, but if you're...
You don't want to talk about his personal life.
If you're just going to shit on him the entire time...
You don't want to talk about how he put a gun to his wife's throat almost every morning and said one day it's going to be loaded and terrified his wife and kids.
Hey, you know Ric Flair used to cheat on his wife?
That's not the same as putting a gun to your wife's throat.
The point... Okay, so here's the point I'm trying to make with that.
You'll forgive anybody as long as they're a good wrestler.
No, is that everybody's not... I'm sure Nick Bockwinkel probably did some shit that we probably wouldn't like, too.
Oh, but just because we know what Dynamite is...
I think the only person in the wrestling business from that era that was squeaky clean was probably Bob Backlund.
I think Bockwinkel was.
Nick was probably pretty clean, but...
You just want to make excuses for everybody.
I do.
Nuts.
I want to talk about Dynamite from the standpoint of the Dynamite Kid that I knew. As a kid, like literally when I got into professional wrestling...
Next week on Off the Chest of Timothy Regal, the best of O.J. Simpson and Bill Cosby.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
What? How is it different? Let's just talk about the good stuff.
Can we talk about Dynamite Kid in the ring at least?
You're going to anyway, so go ahead.
So we have to sweep Dynamite under the rug. We have to. Obviously we sweep. Jimmy Snuka killed someone. Fuck Jimmy Snuka.
Oh, yeah. Dynamite only threatened to do it, so that's okay.
You're not gonna let this go, are you?
Why should I?
Because I want to focus on a guy who was an...
I swear to God, I hope you never ever get jury duty for a murder case. It'd be like...
I've actually submitted for jury duty next week.
Yeah. Regal will be like... It'll be like... He watched an episode of Raw in '97. He's a wrestling fan. Let's just recognize him for a wrestling fan.
No, I would
Ignore
not.
the fact that all the evidence.
Now you're just abusing sarcasm. The point is, you. There's a lot of guys from that back. A lot of guys did some shitty shit in wrestling that we kind of gloss over.
Well, you don't want to talk about Benoit? Talk about how great he was?
No, Benoit was one of the best ever in the ring, but I don't want to talk about him.
But you want to talk about Dynamite? Okay, go ahead.
Do you want to talk about how Wahoo McDaniel beat his wife?
No, I don't want to talk about Wahoo McDaniel.
Okay, do you want to talk about, let's see, Blackjack Mulligan and Kendall Williams making counterfeit money?
I mean, at least they're not hurting anybody.
I mean, that is true, but a lot of guys in wrestling did some shitty shit. There's a lot of guys in professional sports that did some shitty shit that we still look back on. You know who's a really shitty person?
Who?
Lawrence Taylor.
Okay. I didn't know that.
But he's one of the greatest linebackers ever played the game of football.
So he gets a pass.
No, he doesn't get a pass, but if you separate the player from the person that he was off the field, I mean,
Just say what you want to say about Dynamite. I'm obviously not going to get through to you.
I feel like I don't want to now because you had to go and shit on him.
Well, go. You obviously don't care.
I do care.
No, you're
Dynamite
giving him a pass.
Dynamite was a piece of shit, a human being to a lot of people. Apparently, he was. And there's a lot of stories of him being an asshole to deal with in the locker room. I know they took liberties with enhancement talent. So, but at the same time, you have to look at Dynamite in the lens of the fact that he inspired Chris Jericho. He did inspire Benoit. Now, I got into a Twitter beef with somebody who tried to claim that that Dynamite's responsible for Benoit murdering his wife and son. I disagree with that. But, yeah, Dynamite inspired a lot of guys, especially a lot of the wrestlers that came out of Canada. Edge, Christian, Jericho, Benoit. Because he was so ahead of his time, technically proficient. Part of the reason the Bulldogs and Harts feud worked as well as it did is because Dynamite and Brett were doing stuff that nobody else was doing. Are you even going to contribute here?
I didn't watch that much WWF at the time. I didn't watch a lot of that era.
But, and then, that was me as a kid, and then years later, as I got into watching tapes and learning stuff, I find out about Dynamite and Tiger Mask in Japan. I mean, you can go to YouTube and watch some of that. You can go to New Japan World and watch some of that. It is so amazing to watch those two guys work with each other, and they're doing stuff that was revolutionary and changed the business and brought the junior heavyweight style to Japan that we have now, essentially. These are two of the guys that blazed that trail. So I think you at least have to recognize Dynamite's in-ring ability, whether in a tag team and whether in Japan as a singles, whether or not. And, I read Dynamite's book about 2002, 2003 maybe, and he was very open in his book. He's the one thing I will say for him is he's very open in his book.
Yeah.
About the things he did, right and wrong. About the fact that he took steroids. About the fact that he took too many cortisone shots in his neck. And that's what ended his career and caused him to have health problems later in life. So I have to say, for everything you say about him, he's honestly been pretty open that he was not a good person.
Did you talk about, the way he psychologically abused his wife?
He doesn't come out and say it, but he says he did things he wasn't proud of.
Okay.
So he does, in his book, actually, kind of talk about it. There's a great passage towards the end of his book. Chris, it might have been Zellner, posted on Twitter, where basically he said, when I was a 19-year-old kid and I left England with 20 pounds in my pocket to go to Canada on what I thought was going to be a 6-month trip, and however many years it was after he after he left his wife and knew he was done with the business, he said he flew back to Canada, or flew back from Japan and back to England, and he said, I looked in my pocket and I had 20 pounds. And he said, well, after all this, I broke even.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of a microcosm of a lot of wrestlers in that era.
Yeah.
That, for everything that he did and everything that he put his body through and all that stuff, he ends up basically saying, at the end of the day, I broke even on my career.
Yeah.
The other thing I think people, you talk about him being a shitty person. One of the things that gets glossed over, I know in his book, he goes into great detail, the Rougeau brothers and Pat Patterson damn near killed him.
Yeah.
Well, the Rougeaus, but Pat, it's kind of an urban myth that Pat may have had a hand in this. They had been working with the Rougeaus.
Yeah.
And it had become heated. Things had been exchanged. I want to say that Dynamite and Davey pulled a couple ribs on the Rougeaus that they didn't like.
Sure.
So basically, one time as they were in the back, like in an arena, when nobody was around, basically Dynamite got jumped and the Rougeaus beat the bloody piss out of him.
Didn't Pritchard cover this?
Pritchard covered this too.
What did he say about it?
He said he wouldn't confirm or deny if Pat had any involvement, but basically said that it did happen. So, of course, a lot of people would say that was probably karma.
Yeah.
And that was the end of their WWE run essentially. Their last appearance, if you watch Survivor Series '89, they're the second team, I think, off that babyface tag match that gets eliminated.
Yeah.
And as soon as they basically got to the back, they were done. Dynamite's back was really bothering him by that point. The funny thing in his book, he talks about they wanted to turn heel in WWF.
Yeah.
And if they'd have turned heel, I think they could have had a little bit longer run. Because, I think they would have been good heels because they both had the personality for it, obviously.
Yeah.
They're both assholes.
Right.
Davey was an asshole, too. I mean, I love Davey as a wrestler, but he's well known to be an asshole. Listen to anybody talk about Davey. Actually, I will say for Davey, though, when he was around fans, he was a nice guy.
Yeah. Did you ever meet him?
I did not. One of my friends got to be... Remember when they were doing the Allied Powers gimmick?
Yeah.
And when they would do TV, they'd have the kids walk with them with the flags.
Yeah.
One of my friends got to be the flag bearer.
Okay.
And said Davey actually talked to him. Lex didn't. Is anyone surprised by that?
Nah.
So Davey was up, and I met Davey at an autograph signing once, actually.
Oh, you did?
I just remembered that. Davey was actually really cool. So when he was around fans, when essentially when the camera was on, he could be a cool guy. So
yeah.
And Davey liked to rib people.
Right.
They both Davey and Dynamite did, and that's that was one of the issues. Hey, you think that Sting match is on here?
What?
You think
No.
that's?
No, I don't.
You don't think on a TNA's greatest matches of Jeff Hardy that the Sting match is?
Probably not.
No, I'm guessing that one was conveniently omitted.
Yeah, probably.
But no. So I think Alex, yes, Dynamite was a piece of crap human being.
Yep.
But in the ring, as a little kid, for me, I would see him do stuff like he was the one guy that was throwing like snap suplexes.
Yeah.
Which in 1987, I mean, you think now, he did a snap suplex. Travis Titan does about 8 of those a day. Nobody was throwing snap suplexes.
Right.
I mean, and the fact that people forget Dynamite was a big dude, but that was back in the era when everybody was huge, especially in WWF. So he looked like he was a smaller guy, and he was fat. One thing about him is he was probably one of the fastest guys that they had.
I thought you were gonna say fattest.
Fastest.
Yeah.
So he could do stuff, and him and Davey could do stuff together that you didn't see. And obviously, as a young kid, I don't know if I've ever told you this, we had an English bulldog as a pet.
Yeah, you've told me that a couple times.
And so when I start watching wrestling, I have an English bulldog. These two guys have an English bulldog, and they're cool as hell. They basically were my favorite wrestlers. I actually took a Union Jack flag to a house show with me.
Nice.
As support for them. No, I was a huge British Bulldogs fan as a kid. So, I mean, it's terrible that it's come out in over the years that Dynamite was not the best person, but I always have this hard thing. It's a hard thing when, it's somebody you respected and admired growing up. And, despite the fact that they're this horrible person, there's also the memories that I have of just watching Dynamite Kid, the professional wrestler.
Yeah.
And I think that is kind of where my head was at this week. But I understand that if you, obviously, or anybody else wants to go the other way. So I will say, yes, your opinion is valid. I'm not going to sit here and say it's not.
Thank you.
Now, on the other side of the coin, I feel like we're having a downer episode this week because Dynamite passed, and then, we get the news Thursday.
Yep.
Of somebody we've actually met.
Mm-hmm.
Larry The Ax Hennig passes away. A excellent I mean, obviously, most people know Larry as the father of Curt Hennig, Mr. Perfect, and the grandfather of Curtis Axel. But Larry The Ax Hennig, legitimately one of the toughest SOBs to ever grace professional wrestling. Of course, best known for his time in the Vern Gagne's AWA promotion. Originally as Pretty Boy Larry Hennig. Now, I don't know about you, Alex. I mean, maybe when he was younger, but
I can't imagine an era when he was Pretty Boy Larry Hennig.
I don't ever remember seeing Larry as a pretty boy. I remember seeing Larry as this big bastard who beat the shit out of people.
Right.
The Axe was a much better nickname for him.
Yes.
And obviously, we just did Pipe Dream a few weeks ago.
Yeah, we did. We involved Larry the Axe.
We made Larry a central part of that because Larry was a hell of a wrestler, hell of a performer, and essentially up until I think 86 was his last match.
Yeah.
He teamed with Kurt for a couple storyline things in the AWA.
Yeah.
So I've seen a little bit of tape of that, and but like I said, most people know him as Kurt's father.
Right.
But, we, over the last couple of years, got the fortune of getting to meet Larry at the George Pregost's Luthez Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame ceremony. And Larry is one of those guys who always had great time to talk to anybody.
Yeah.
He was excellent when talking about wrestling history. He actually the first year I went co-hosted the award ceremony.
Really?
It was Larry and Baron von Raschke as the host of the show, and
wow.
they were hilarious.
I bet they're both very funny.
They made a few jokes at Vern's expense. I'll say that. And like I posted on Twitter, Larry, even in his 80s, when the first time I met Larry and I got a picture and an autograph from him, he shook my hand.
Yeah.
When Larry Hennig, even at the age of 80, shook your hand, you knew that he was there.
Right.
He would squeeze your hand.
You're saying he worked stiff?
He was a little snug. His handshake was definitely a snug handshake. I'll just put it that way. But you didn't go with me this year. They had, and you can actually, Wade Keller posted this on his podcast feed.
Oh, I didn't go with you to the podcast.
Yeah. Wade Keller did a podcast with Larry the Axe and Nikita Koloff.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, Larry is absolutely hilarious during that podcast. He's making jokes. He is going out of his way to pump the sales of his 8x10s. He actually had an 8x. He actually has an 8x10. He actually had an 8x10 of him with Donald Trump.
Ooh.
From, I'm assuming, WrestleMania 4 or 5.
Yeah.
It would have been 5 because I think that was Kurt's first WrestleMania. So I'm assuming it was probably from WrestleMania 5. But yeah, he had a 8x10 with him and our current sitting president.
Yeah.
Which he would sign for you. But no, he was. I told him the story of my father.
I'd buy that and rip the Trump half off and keep the Larry half.
Make him write. Write. I'm sure he would write whatever he wanted on it. So
yeah.
I actually told him that when of course, my dad being an old AWA guy, when Kurt became Mr. Perfect, my dad would talk about Larry, and along with Butcher, with Butcher and Mad Dog and Crusher, Larry was one of my favorite wrestlers. And I said this to my father. I told Larry my dad was one of my dad's favorites, and Larry's first response was he smiled and said, "Well, that means your dad was a smart guy." But no, Larry lived by the definition of that Vern Gagne moniker of being a legitimate wrestler.
Right.
And Larry could go out to a bar and nobody would mess with him.
Right.
And if they did, they probably ended up picking themselves up off the concrete outside the bar.
Right.
And Larry, of course, had a great wrestling career. Went on to auto sales, I think, was what he ended up doing, and I think he said he made more money selling cars than he ever made in wrestling.
You saying wrestling doesn't pay well?
Well, depends on who you're working for. Let's just put it that way.
Fair enough.
Working in the Minnesota territory may not have always paid the best. Let's just put it that way. Thanks, Vern.
You got Barry Vern like that.
Well, I'm not burying Vern. Everybody I've ever talked to buried Vern. Let's face it. Everybody says Vern was not the best payout guy in the business.
Yeah.
But Vern made you believe him. No, I mean, obviously, you're the AWA expert. I mean,
I don't know if I'd say expert. I've watched some AWA. I'm a big fan of the AWA, and Larry The Ax obviously was a pretty much. You look at his era, and you see a lot of guys that traveled around and made the territories. I can't think of Larry ever really being anywhere other than Minnesota. Larry
was pretty much a homesteader for the AWA.
Yeah.
There were back in that era, most guys would travel around, and then you had the guys who would generally homestead.
Yeah.
Larry was a guy who pretty much homesteaded was loyal to Vern.
Yeah.
He would make trips other places, but for very brief runs before he would come back to the AWA.
Right.
He obviously, and I mean, he had family. Had a family. Because Kurt came from that. What high school is it?
Robbinsdale.
Yeah.
Robbinsdale, Minnesota.
Him, Rick Rude, the Road Warriors. That high school in that era that just produced this insane amount of professional wrestlers.
You know what would be a great show?
What?
Back in the day, a team challenge: Robbinsdale High School versus West Texas Christian University.
So you have West Texas. You got Tully, Tito, Bruiser Brody.
Yep. The Funks,
Stan.
Dusty.
Stan.
Yep.
Stan Hansen. Yeah, versus Robbinsdale High School. So we've got Kurt, Scott Hall.
Scott Hall didn't know. Scott Hall's from Florida.
Scott's from Florida. But we have Kurt, the Road Warriors.
Rick Rude.
Tom Zink.
Yep. That's the name I was saying. Yeah, actually West Texas University would definitely
West Texas probably had to but it's pretty close.
I don't think both Road Warriors even went there. I think just one of them.
Just one of them?
I'm not sure. I plugged in my phone in the other room, so we can't research it.
Hey, Tom Zink went there, though.
Hey, Thomas Montgomery, put on your great mouse detective of Twitter hat and figure out who would win in a battle between Robbinsdale High School and West Texas University when you're listening to this in 2025.
Hey,
What?
Robin still had the Z-Man.
Yeah, that's true. Tony Schiavone's favorite wrestler, right?
Tony's favorite, damn right, Tony's favorite wrestler. I mean, did I ever tell you the Joey Eastman once wrote a like fake origin story for Tyler Black and Merrick Brave?
What?
And, yes, and as part of that origin story for Tyler Black and Merrick Brave, he said that Merrick Brave was inspired by his favorite wrestler, the Z-Man, to wear tidy tights. Because, as I've showed you some video of, anybody that knows Merrick and Tyler's early career, their tights were not the big. They didn't wear the long tights. They wore the little the trunks.
They're called trunks,
yeah. And their trunks sometimes were not adequately sized.
What the ill-informed might refer to as a Speedo.
Yeah, it's as we've talked about. I think we talked about this with Merrick in the interview. The infamous line of one time we're at an IWA show and a guy in the front row hollers out, "If this guy gets a boner, we're all fucked."
Well, that doesn't happen during a match, but.
No.
And then, do you want to talk about the George H.W. Bush?
Yeah. I mean, obviously, and
the president while I was born.
The president that you were born got elected when I was the vice president when I was born.
Yeah.
Actually, he was not even the vice president yet. He was a year away from. He was about 6 months away from that when I was born.
Was Jimmy Carter the president when you were
born? Carter was president until 80. So when I was born, Jimmy was the sitting president.
Wow. So that means that the president when you were born is still alive, but the president when I was born is dead. And he's still building fucking houses.
Jimmy Carter's the goddamn supreme, okay?
He really is.
That's what it is.
Jimmy Carter's the man.
Everybody said that. How the hell is Jimmy Carter still alive?
Jimy Carter is
It is like damn near 92, and I still out there building houses, man.
Right.
No, Jimmy's amazing. Well, he was only president for 4 years too, so that might be part of it.
Brad Rangan's just killing somebody here.
I do not know who Brad Rangan is wrestling here, but he is beating the holy hell out of him.
This is Super Sunday. I'm guessing this is the only thing from '83 up there. I'm guessing this is the Super Sunday where Hogan and Bockwinkel.
It is.
Yeah, that's got to be the reason why it's the only thing up from '83.
They need to get more AWA on the network. They really do. They've got Super Sunday. We've got, of course, Wrestle Rock '86.
Yes, be there.
And then some random TV episodes that basically are there to highlight. I know one of them, the opening match is a really, really young kid making his AWA debut named Shawn Michaels.
Yeah.
Then there's a couple of things with Kurt. Basically, they're just to kind of highlight some of the guys that would go on to WWF careers. But yeah, why do we not have more AWA TV on the network? Because they used to show the stuff from the 70s on the Classics on Demand. So they've got it in the library.
Sure.
I remember I was watching one time on Classics on Demand, and it came on a match of Rene Goulet versus a guy named Kenny J. And I immediately, I finished the episode, then I went back, rewound it, and I paused it and stopped it right where at the start of that match. My dad came home, and I put it on for him, and I said, "Just sit back, Dad, for a minute." I said, "I'm just going to show you something." And I put it on, and the first thing they introduced Rene Goulet because he's the heel. And my dad, who, never really showed a lot of emotion watching wrestling when I was, of course, by this point, it's WWE Network. It's Classics on Demand era, so I'm 21, 22 maybe.
Yeah.
Rene Goulet comes on TV and goes, God damn it, I hate this French son of a bitch. And then they introduce his opponent, Kenny J. And my dad goes, "Oh my God, it's Kenny J. He's the capable one. He's capable of winning." But he never did.
Capable Kenny J.
Kenny J, the capable Kenny J. He was capable of winning.
But he never did.
Dad would... and the thing is, he was such a great hand. They'd have him work, they'd work Wharton Fieldhouse, and he'd be in there against Bockwinkel and stuff.
Right.
Because he could have a good match with him.
He's capable.
But of course, he never won.
Right.
Now, my dad also always told me the story of Bockwinkel apparently one time got knocked out
Yeah.
And got actually pinned. So they thought the world title changed hands in Moline. The AWA title changed hands in Moline.
Yeah.
So they came out later in the show and said, no, that match was supposed to be 2 out of 3 falls. 2 out of 3 falls. So they came back out later in the night, and Bockwinkel pinned whoever he was wrestling in 2 falls to get the belt back. Hey, it's Shithead.
Who is it?
Fucking Buck Zumoff.
Oh, God. Oh, but he's a good wrestler, wasn't he, Regal? You don't want to talk about what he did in the ring?
No, I don't want to talk about Buck Zumoff at all. Fuck Buck Zumoff.
Okay. You're awful selective here.
No, there's certain things that just make a person not even worth the time to talk about at all. And that is, Buck Zumoff is one of them.
Rock and roll? You don't like rock and roll?
No, I don't like rock and roll. Fuck him and fuck his boombox.
Wow.
Nah, you know, it's I really wish we had more AWA footage. None of this fuck, though.
Gene Okerlund?
Oh, shit, I just realized Mean Gene's ring announcing, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's really young. He's still bald.
He looks the fucking same as he does now. What do you mean he's really young? He looks the same as he does now.
Not now, but...
Yes, he does.
Did Mean Gene ever have a full head of hair? That's what I want to know.
Fucker was born half bald.
I think he was, because brother, it's 83, and brother still got that...
He's always looked the same.
Horseshoe on his hand, because...
Oh, man. But, what else is going on, Regal? You watching any good wrestling lately?
No, we never really finished talking about George Bush. We got sidetracked.
That's okay. That's about enough. That's all I
no,
want to talk
well,
about.
I do want to talk about George Bush from the standpoint of people who don't realize this. George Bush was a huge pro wrestling fan.
Yeah?
He actually he had a really good relationship with WWE.
Yeah.
But no, he was a wrestling fan. Apparently, he would when he was younger, he would go to the matches in Texas.
Sure.
He obviously a huge WWE fan. Sounds like he had a pretty good relationship with the McMahon family. And that's why I know they did a salute to him. You know, normally they don't really do that, but
I mean, it's a president. Usually,
it is a president, but now for somebody that he did a video for the 9/11 tribute show, didn't he?
I think he did, yeah.
Yeah, he did. I think he did videos for tribute for the troops.
Weren't they going to have him at the SmackDown after?
I think they tried.
9/11,
They tried to get him with the Secret Service.
They had a mutual friend.
Yeah,
and they just said security-wise, there'd be no way.
Yeah, Secret Service wasn't going to allow it.
Yeah.
So he did the video instead. Yeah, apparently there was originally planned that they were going to actually have him actually appear live. So no, George Bush. I mean, and here's the thing. I'm been a pretty staunch Democrat for a guy who, and you're especially in 2018. For younger people, it's hard to understand this, but because of where we are now politically,
so divisive.
Whether pretty much universally loved.
I wouldn't go that far.
Well, and I've actually said many times that I think that George got kind of railroaded. The economy went in the tank under because of what Reagan had done.
Right.
On his watch.
Right.
And then Ross Perot.
Yeah.
Took a lot of his supporters in that election.
Okay, quick thing. Did I literally just hear you say that George Bush was universally loved?
By a lot of people, I think.
That is not the meaning of the word universally.
Okay.
There were plenty of comedians, plenty of people that actually... Let's not forget, it was under him that the Patriot Act came out.
No,
dude.
George H. We're talking
about other ones. Okay, let's do the free one.
We're talking senior.
People hated how he treated the AIDS epidemic.
Well, he did not handle AIDS well. But... Primarily, the thing that he got...
What? That's what they're tweeting about.
No, I'm talking about the way Regal said that.
Yeah, like...
It made it sound
thousands of people died from mismanagement of that.
And because he didn't want to acknowledge it. But he kind of got... I mean, obviously, he got railroaded by bureaucracy of the Gulf War. the Reaganomics finally crashing on him,
Big
and
surprise.
then
Down, the greatest myth.
and then during the election, Perot took a lot of his supporters.
Yeah.
And if you go back in history and look at that, I think people need to realize Perot with that, by taking those supporters, I think really, really hurt his chances for re-election. And then Clinton just came in like a ball of fire.
Right.
And won the election. But up until a year before, like, I remember about a year before the election, SNL did a sketch of a Democratic primary debate, and it was like supposed to be CNN or something, and they said, Democrats 88, the race for the guy that loses to Bush. Because even as the primaries got underway, they didn't think there was anybody was going to beat him.
Yeah.
So,
hold on. So I'm reading I got the Pro Wrestling Illustrated Women's Top 100 issue.
Okay.
And I'm reading the Raw rankings for a period that ended October 8th, 2018.
Okay.
Are you ready to hear the singles men rankings for October?
Do I have to?
September, October. Number 1. Well, the Universal Champion was Roman Reigns at the time.
Okay.
Number 1 was Braun Strowman.
Okay.
Number 2 was Seth Rollins.
Okay.
3 was Bobby Lashley.
Okay.
4 was Finn Balor.
Okay.
5 was Kevin Owens, and I thought he was already injured by then.
That might have been right about the time he left with injury.
Okay. 6, Baron Corbin.
Okay.
7, Elias.
Okay.
8, Jinder Mahal.
Oh.
9, Connor from the Ascension.
What?
And 10, Mojo Rawley. I'm like, where was Connor from the... Is this just go to show, like, how much the women have become a focal point on Raw? That this...
Who's writing this magazine?
I don't know. The SmackDowns are, like, SmackDown 9 and 10 are Shelton Benjamin and Luke Harper, which are...
Apter hasn't been there for years, obviously. No. Is Stu Stacks still even alive?
Stu Sachs, I think so.
Okay.
Does it say who composed it?
I don't know if they still
this is the okay. The ratings are compiled by committee consisting of Stu Sachs, Dan Murphy.
Not only is Stu still there, he's still involved in the magazine.
Dan Murphy, Chris Zellner, Harry Burkett, Louis D, and Striga from CagedMatch.net and PureLove.com.
Forget Zellner does some stuff for them too. Connor from the Ascension.
Unless there's I haven't watched Raw in months. Is there a different Connor? I'm assuming it's Connor from the Ascension.
I don't know why that is happening. Anybody tell me, please. Let me know. Hit us up on the Twitter at OffTheChestTR if you remember seeing Connor from the Ascension
have a singles match.
And win. Maybe he won a match that week, and that's why he ended up.
This is the fucked up thing. Is that there's only one category for all of the women in the world. Let me see that real quick.
I just want to see, what do they have? Let me see here. Yeah, why do they only have one category for women? There needs to be ratings for like WWE and all that. Let's see, we got 205 Live. We got I'm looking to see who gets the little side rankings.
I think those side rankings.
Shakara,
I think they pay for those.
Dragon Gate, ECWA is still a thing.
Yeah.
Ooh, number 9, Mr. Ooh La La is still wrestling. I think that guy's like 60 at this point. Joey Ace, is that Johnny's son?
Joey Ace, I've heard of him. He's a...
Maryland Championship Wrestling is still on here.
He's an Indiana guy, isn't
NWA Supreme. Where the hell is that? Premier Wrestling Alliance? I don't know.
I wonder if some of these promotions pay to have them on there.
PWG, UWC. Like, I used to love, like, back in the early 90s, you get the magazine, and they'd have those rankings for the ECWA or NWA Wild Side or promotions, and I'm like, where is this wrestling, and where do I find it? And are we ooh, it's got the arena report for All In.
Does it?
In here. Yes.
Anything from Iowa? Somebody should start sending an arena report from SCW Pro.
Albert Armageddon used to, and we did used to get published in the PWI Weekly.
Really?
Yeah. I don't think we ever made the main magazine.
What's PWI Weekly?
They used to have a weekly edition.
Oh.
That was actually more of a... And PWI Weekly was more of a dirt sheet.
Okay. Was it like a newsletter or...
Yeah.
Okay.
And it wasn't as kayfabed as the
Gotcha.
monthlies were. Nothing for Iowa. We've got Southern Illinois Championship Wrestling at the Community Center.
Anybody we know on there? Jesus.
No. Nope.
Somebody just killed Rock and Roll Buck Zumhoff.
Good.
I knew you were going to say that.
Wrestling Over Everything in Centerville. I don't know anybody on that show either. AAW at the Knights of Columbus and LaSalle.
Is that the show we were at? No, it would have been...
This would have been
probably the
September
show, yeah.
So we got Brubaker pins Dante Leone.
Yep.
Chuck Taylor pinned Hakeem Zane. Jake Something and Kurt Stallion defeated Space Monkey and Jessica Havoc.
Yes.
That's a match that happened, folks. DJ Z versus Pin Myron Reed. The Besties in the World defeated Zach Wentz and Desmond Xavier. Jimmy Jacobs defeated Jake Christ.
Off the chest of Timothy Regal. The only place to get September AAW results in December.
Hey, Bucky Collins pinned Joey Ryan.
Oh, that was that. Oh, that's the show the power went out.
Yeah,
you watched that show.
Oh, yeah, that's the Power Outage show.
Give my magazine back.
Hey, you never know. 10 years from now, you can look back at that and...
Oh, my God.
Ooh, Kira Hogan. Hello. Can we do that? Can I just go through the female 100?
We only have, I don't know.
Let's see here. Who's number one's Ronda.
Woo!
Rick, are you here?
When you're living,
Rick.
Regal.
Rick.
How the hell are ya?
Rick, where you been, man?
I've been all over the world.
Limousine, Learjet flying.
Limousine riding, Learjet flying, kiss stealing, wheeling, dealing. Woo! Son of a gun. Did you miss me?
I missed you, Rick.
I've come to realize that you don't appreciate me enough.
I don't?
No, you don't.
Well, you chop me a lot, Rick.
Well, not nearly as much as you deserve.
Okay, but that might be.
Anyways, I've been thinking. I took some time off. Spent some time with Ashley. Spent some time with Conrad. Spent some time with,
Megan?
Who?
Megan? Your daughter? The one that married Conrad?
You know, Alex had a good idea.
What?
He wants to see Megan and Kate in the cage. The two royal ladies.
No, that's Meghan Merkel, not your daughter, Megan.
You don't know that.
Why
you wonder why she didn't let that guy that claimed to be her dad to her wedding? Because she wanted, woo, her real daddy, the nature boy.
Like I said,
I got kids all over the world.
Like I said, it's you and me, but you know how that match would end. Pippa Middleton would have slammed the door on somebody's head.
I don't know who that is.
She's Kate's sister.
Okay. Why is Mean Gene ring announcing?
Because it's the AWA.
Ah.
You never wrestled there.
No, but I've forgotten you.
Well, you wrestled there, but
I did.
Not by the time not when you were the nature.
Who's this guy?
I think his name is Shitstorm Viola.
It is not.
I have no clue who the hell that is.
God damn it, Regal.
I know who the other guy is.
Yeah, I know who the other guy is too.
It's the King.
Yeah.
That's the King Jerry Lawler.
Yeah. After that, I think he's going to some graduation parties.
Oh, I'm sure he was.
Pick up dates.
Yeah. The problem is they were middle school graduations.
Yeah. Fair enough. Wow, Regal. Oh.
But Rick.
Let's talk about how great Jerry is, huh? Let's talk about how great I am.
Let's talk about how great you are.
So you got that women top 100.
Yeah, I do.
And we all know who number one is.
Absolutely.
Ashley.
Yep.
She was?
Yes. 100%.
Ashley's number one. Let me see it.
I Oh damn! I don't have it anymore.
Regal, why is Rhonda on the cover of a magazine where Ashley's number one?
I don't know.
Regal, is Rhonda? Tell me the truth now. Is Rhonda number one?
Not in my heart, Rick.
Not in your heart. Let me see that heart of yours, you son of a... Ow! God damn it! Rick, stop! Me! God damn it! Rick's back.
Yeah, he's chopping me again. I even tried to lie and tell him Charlotte was the number one in the PWI Women's 100.
Rick's not stupid, Regal.
God, why do you let him do that?
Because it's funny.
At least Dusty doesn't, like, bionic elbow me and stuff.
He has.
Well, he has, but usually he doesn't.
Yeah.
Dusty's pretty nice to me. I like Dusty better.
Wow. Are you kidding me?
Stop! I was only kidding. I swear. Stop!
Woo! I got better things to do than be on this stupid ass podcast. Regal, your phone's blowing up there. Who's texting you?
I'm getting Snapchats.
Ooh.
Probably nothing
Naked
good.
ladies?
Nothing good, trust me.
Well, there's nothing good from getting Snapchats from naked ladies unless you're in a committed relationship, folks.
I'm not even going to ask.
And also, the other good thing is when you get Snapchats from naked ladies who you are in the committed relationship with. I'm not saying if you're getting Snapchats from naked ladies. Be loyal, folks.
Should you just stop talking?
I should just stop talking. My wife doesn't listen to this podcast. My wife doesn't even have Snapchat. I do, but I don't ever get pictures of naked ladies on Snapchat.
Oh, good. You're married.
That is good. I am married.
I joined Tinder.
Oh yeah, can we play? Can we Tinder on the podcast? Let me do 5 swipes.
Here, let's see.
Oh, this could be a new gimmick on the podcast.
Regal plays Tinder.
Alex plays on Regal's Tinder.
Alex plays on Regal's Tinder
on the
podcast. I don't know,
podcast.
'cause you're gonna swipe right on things I don't want. Let's see. Jessica, 37. Ooh, swiping right.
I want to see. Why has she got those? Are like she's got. Hey, I think you got a match, Regal.
No, I don't.
Yeah, that button means you have a message.
No, the message button's over here.
Yeah, you got a message from somebody. You got a new match.
It's Spotify. No,
Let me see. Can I see it?
That's the thing where they're trying to get me to upgrade to gold, which I'm not going to do.
Wow, I'm trying to help. We're trying to help Regal out. Would you just swipe left on her?
Hello. I'm definitely swiping right. Yeah, swipe right.
I'm a little insulted that you don't trust me with your Snapchat.
With my Tinder?
Whatever. Tinder, Snapchat, same thing.
Nah, we'll see if I get any actual likes. I have not yet. I've only been on... I literally was bored at lunch at work the other day and made a Tinder profile.
Can I see your profile? I told you what you need if you want to get those super likes.
That I should put the moonsault video?
No, put a picture of old 7-Star on there. You put videos on there now?
Yeah, you can put videos on there. I totally should put the moonsault video on here.
God damn it, let me see your phone.
I'm afraid to give you my phone right now because I'm afraid of what you're going to do.
Picture of you in a suit that is obviously about 39 years old.
That is not 39 years old, and I don't look any different from that picture.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't. I'm bald-headed. I wear glasses. I look the same in that picture as I do now.
Your anthem is Kingdom by Downstate.
Damn right. If there's a girl that knows what that is...
I forgot it links to your Instagram. You got to stop posting such unhappy pictures on your Instagram. Remember when we were on the Hell Hath No Fury poster?
Yeah, we were.
Yeah.
Hey, Margaret!
See, you got a picture of Noelle Foley on here?
Yeah?
Jeez, alright.
I think it just takes like your last couple. I think it took a couple random Facebook pictures because I did not put most of those up there.
Oof.
What? What are you oofing?
I'm looking at a girl.
Oh. Wow. Oof. I'm afraid of what you're swiping on right now.
I swiped left.
Okay.
48 miles away. 29 years old from Dubuque. I wonder if I know her. She does look kind of familiar, but I don't recognize the
Let me
name. I swiped right. Left. I swiped left. I swiped left.
Maybe I wanted to swipe right.
I know what's best for you, Regal.
Well, it's definitely a left. Left. But anyway.
Let me tell you something, baby.
Dusty.
What's going on, Regal?
Hey, Dusty, I got a question for you.
What's going on, baby?
What would you do if Tinder was around back in the day?
I would post a picture of me on there, Tinder, drinking Bella Yellow, baby, so all the ladies know that I'm a little bit sweet, but I'm a little bit spicy, if you know what I mean. Who
would you have swiped right on?
Sweet Sapphire.
Obviously.
My wife.
Your wife?
Yeah. I think if we would have had Tinder back then, me and my wife would have been on Tinder.
Would you have swiped right on Miss Brandy?
That's disgusting, Regal.
Cody did.
What the hell kind of question is that?
Cody did.
Cody and Brandy didn't meet on Tinder. They were when they were working for Vince McMahon.
Well,
Mr. McMahon.
Trust me. Look at Cody's social media feed. He's still swiping right on Brandy.
That's fine, but what you asking me if I'm gonna swipe left on my daughter-in-law? That's creepy, Regal. What do you think I'm gonna do next? Proclaim myself the king of Dallas, Texas?
You probably could.
I mean, I don't think anybody would argue. But anyways, Rico, you about ready for me to do the plugs?
I am. Hey, Dust.
What's going on, baby?
We're watching some AWA here.
Yeah.
You were in AWA.
I was in the AWA.
You were a heel.
I was a heel. The West Texas Outlaws.
You was a bad guy.
I was.
It's so unusual.
Me and the Dick Bruiser. Dick's the Bruiser.
No, it's Dick Murdoch.
Dick Murdoch.
Yeah.
I just tested you, Regal.
Hey,
you know who wouldn't have known that?
Who?
Corey Macklin. He's an idiot.
Hey.
What? If it didn't happen in USWA, he doesn't know. What?
Dusty!
Oh, God.
Dusty, I'm excited. Look on the TV, Dusty. It's the king!
I thought, what part of a straightened on it don't you understand?
It's the king, Dusty.
I'm going to get you demoted from Pearly Gates Championship Wrestling.
Dusty, the king was almost as good as you.
Not anywhere near. Corey, listen here. Boy, I am the second most recognizable athlete in the world. I am not a fast food icon impersonator. I am a champion. I am the greatest booker. I am the greatest talker. I am the greatest commentator other than old 7-star Alex McCarthy, who I hear he did some great commentating at 3XW Wrestling a couple weeks ago with Skylar Pierce.
I heard about that.
Yeah. When are we going to get another episode of the Skylar Pierce show, Regal?
I don't know. We got to talk to Skylar Pierce about that.
Yeah, I'll see if he wants to be on there.
There might be some new shows coming to the network soon. You never know.
What do you know?
I know some things.
What do you know?
I know some things.
Kayfabe, motherfucker.
Well, Dusty, I mean, Alex knows.
Alex knows?
Yeah.
Or you talking about your New Japan podcast?
Well, yeah, that and maybe some other things, but it's gonna be exciting in 2019. We'll see what happens. Maybe I'll give Dusty. Maybe we'll give you and Corey your own show.
That sounds terrible.
You don't want to do your own show, Corey?
Nah, I don't want to talk that long.
All right.
Go ahead and follow Go ahead and follow Margaret, that beautiful, sexy, intelligent young woman who knows all about her politics, and soon to be published author Margaret and Dale at Bales in a Sale at Margaret and Dale. If you want to learn about them books and reading, if you like reading and stuff. I met some fans at the SCW Pro Wrestling last week, and they told me they like to read. Did you know wrestling fans knew how to read?
Yes, Dusty. Wrestling fans know how to read.
Do you?
Well, I mean, some of the ones in Crockett may not have.
Well, wow, what are you trying to say, Regal? What the hell we got here?
We got women's wrestling.
So the sexy ladies. Is this the ladies tag team wrestling championships?
Probably.
I wish they had nameplates on this show.
Yeah, there's no name icons.
Right. Anyways, follow Margaret at Bales in a Sale. She wouldn't like the way I was talking about those ladies. Follow Regal at SCW Regal 444. Who's this red-haired lady? Zoom out a little bit, cameraman.
That is Velvet McIntyre. I know who that is.
Velvet McIntyre. Did I ever book her?
No, I don't think you did.
Well, what the hell was I thinking? Anyways, sorry, Regal. I'm getting distracted. You got to put these ladies off the television set. Go ahead and follow Regal at SCW Regal 444. Go ahead and follow the Alex at One Real Smart Alex. Go ahead and follow the podcast at Off the Chest TR. Follow at Slam Fam Wrestling WREST on Twitter. Slam Fam Wrestling on Instagram. And like the Slam Fam Wrestling Network on Facebook. And for the American Dream, Dusty Road, I was doing the last category thing. Are they ever making a new fucking season of Southpaw Championship Wrestling?
No, I think Lance's days are over, I think.
Well, what the fuck? I'm out of here. Go to a wrestling show, 3XW Friday night.